What's going on, guys? It is the new wave of sports that is sweeping the nation where we're not just accurate but spot on. This is another round of the NFL Division Series, starting with the AFC North today, and joining me are three of the biggest names, or soon to be biggest names in the sports industry. Chanel Starling, ESPN, as well as Des Jewell. You know that man, you might be beginning to love this man as well. Jermaine Mathis joins us as well, Spot on Sports Zone, very own. Hey guys, first of all, how we feeling today? You guys had a little live show not too long ago talking about the whole George Floyd, the protests and the riots, obviously, and a lot of things just going on. And of course, there will be another show on that later. Just a couple words on that as far as to the black community. And I don't want to be cliche when saying this. Obviously, stay strong is the mantra that we hear so often. And in this time, in this day and time, it is okay to be angry. It's okay to be emotional, and it's okay to get our words and our feelings out there to portray onto the masses, white folks, black, red, green, that we are here and we should be treated fairly as such. Guys, we'll go ahead and jump right into this. Starting with the AFC North, obviously Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, Cleveland Browns. I'll start with the Cleveland Browns. New coach, another year for Baker Mayfield going into year three. Des, I'll start with you. Is Baker Mayfield? Obviously, he said he's kind of going into a silence mode, not saying too much, trying not to be the man in front of the lights. What do we expect from Baker Mayfield this year?
He better take a key from the other person from Cleveland, LeBron, and learn how to go zero dark 30 or whatever. My thing with Baker, it's a little up in the air because you got rookie season doesn't do too bad at all. Shows us he knows how to play quarterback in the NFL. We know he knows how to play quarterback in the NFL. That's not the issue. You got the second year with Freddie Kitchens. We all know how that went. Horrible coaching. Horrible. I don't know what he was. It wasn't the coach, so I don't know what he was doing. So I almost need that third year to truly understand what it is Baker Mayfield is going to be in that quarterback spot. I think with the quarterback position, by the third year, you know what you got, and hopefully with a new coordinator, whatever they're going to do. That should open some things up for him. It was nice kind of watching him go through that humbling stage a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it really was. But I hate seeing it with the weapons they have with Juice and Odell and everything else going on. Come on, you can't be having that type of season and be an NFL starting quarterback. So I think he has a talent. I think if he can just humble himself a little bit more, maybe stay focused, less commercials, more film study, and hopefully the offensive situation gets better in the coaching staff. And we should see some improvement there. I don't think the Browns are out of it yet. Again, on paper, they're still a tough team. You just gotta, you gotta figure that out with Baker and the offensive staff.
And when we look at this team, obviously we're waiting for them to make the jump, or at least the one that we've been trying to see them make for at least the last 2 to 3 seasons. You mentioned Freddie Kitchens and that kind of being the thing to get them over the hump. As far as record wise, or at least competitive wise, where do you see them finishing in this division?
Des. Is that still me or is that?
Yeah, it's you, Des. I'm sorry.
It's me. Oh, okay. Down. They finished what 6 last year. It's all about Baker. It really truly is. It's all about Baker because again, I remember watching highlights last season where Odell sitting there wide open, like, bro, hit me, dude. What are you doing? You know what I mean? He's frustrated. And, if he forces it to him, Juice is open. And, so there was definitely some mental mistakes from Baker. But again, that sophomore slump happens to everybody. We understand it happens. I'll say this. With that division having Baltimore, it's just no telling. And then you got the Steelers in there who are going to be a lot healthier than they were last year, most likely. Man, that's the
it's quite
that's 9-7. They might go 10-6 slip in the playoffs. Might go 10-6 slip as a late wild card, but I think it's still some growing pains to do with that team, and that defense is still building. They lost. I know they added Grant Delpit and all that, but not too many rookies come in and just dominate the game like that. So 9-7, 10-6, something like that.
But what excited me most about doing this segment today was that we got Chanel on board to talk about these Pittsburgh Steelers. I made the joke before we got on that the Steelers probably should have drafted everybody in the first round according to Chanel's her draft index. Chanel, but one big question that we do want to know, obviously Big Ben is coming back. The Steelers probably had multiple opportunities, especially in the offseason, to address the quarterback position. Mason Rudolph will remain the backup, as we so know. names that were out there, Andy Dalton, Cam. What do you think that it is a good move for the Steelers to go another year with Big Ben versus having to have went out and got another
So of course I wanted them to, I was watching the draft and I was like, yeah, get like every
guy?
quarterback that was available. I don't care if I ain't never hear of him. I was like, let's get. Oh, he's good. He's great. Then once the draft was over, I was like, Andy Dalton. Oh, I would love him to be on my team. Like just because what my mind is programmed to do is Andy Dalton versus Mason Rudolph. Andy Dalton versus Devlin Hodges. That's where my mind goes because Ben usually gets hurt. Now, the Steelers are a very, very, very classy organization. They're very loyal, and sometimes that hurts us because they don't want to bring in a new quarterback because they're so loyal to Ben. They believe in Ben so much that they're not willing to step on his toes and bring a new, do what the Packers did. That's not them. They're not going to do that. They're going to wait until Ben is done. They're going to find a quarterback and then they're going to groom him and build him into a Steelers quarterback. So I'm upset because Ben, he's older now and he gets hurt. And I'm upset that what happens? What's the plan if Ben gets hurt this season? Are we going with Mason Rudolph? All right, cool. But I'm not upset at the fact they didn't do it because of the loyalty, but I do think we do need a backup because Ben is not the healthiest quarterback. If he was like a LeBron James of football and he never got hurt, I'm okay with them not drafting a quarterback. Ben is still Big Ben. Let's not forget who Ben was. In 2018, he led the league in passing yards. He's not, before he got injured, he was still Big Ben. You know what I'm saying? He was throwing interceptions, and that's also him.
Right.
That's also him. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what Ben looks like in 2020. I don't know what that looks like.
Well, Chanel, you can probably tell me this. Obviously, the offense was able to still be movable. It was still a competitive offense by the job that you guys were able to do, especially with the head coach. And I'm only going past his name because it's on tip. Mike Tomlin. There we go. It's on tip of my
tongue. Put some respect on his
name.
I
gotta respect Mike.
Man, you can't do who should have been the coach of the year. Tomlin should have been the coach.
It should have been him. It should have been him. And two-part question. Chanel. So tell me on this one. How much credit should be given to Mike for what happened last year? And let's take it back to April for this two-part one. What excites you most about the draft? Obviously, with Chase Claypool, and they get Alex Highsmith, and then you get another running back in Anthony McFarland Jr. So can you kind of take us around that as far as last season and then coming up into this draft?
So last season, I'll give Tomlin credit for doing what he did with what he had because he was playing third string quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like he was winning with somebody that was working at 7-Eleven last week. So I'm gonna give him credit for doing that. But also I gotta look at the season before that. The reason why we're in this predicament is because you, as a coach, the coaching, it was something missing in that locker room. You know what I'm saying? So he cleaned it up very well. I can say that because it was part his fault, the craziness that was going on in the locker room. There's no reason why Antonio Brown should be on Facebook. There's no reason why all these things that are going in the locker room are going on.
But Chanel, sorry to interrupt you. Is that more of a thing where you deal with the diva wide receivers? I mean, we talked about at the time where Antonio Brown was arguably the best guy in the league. Sans Julio Jones. Do you put up with one of those guys? But I know as Mike Tomlin, because he was still able to keep things in house. We didn't know a lot of things about AB until he got to the Raiders.
Right, but I think that he can keep things. It was great that he kept things in house, but he's a player's coach. When I watch those games as a Steelers fan, and I'm watching all these penalties, I'm watching, people jump before the ball is snapped. That's discipline. That's coaching. Right. When I'm watching them play and they're losing against the Jets and they're losing against the Browns who haven't won a game, that's coaching. You get your team ready for those games. The reason why they're not serious about that game is because of the coaching. You know what I'm saying? So yes, he has done a great job, and I'm not going to take that away from him. I love him as a coach, but there were some things that, the reason why we were losing those games that we should have been winning because the team wasn't ready. And that comes with discipline and that comes with coaching. So I give him credit, and I don't think everyone could have done what he did with the team that we had last year. So I will give him all the credit for that. He got everybody in line, and he did a great job.
And as for the draft, what excited you most about this past NFL draft for the Steelers?
I think the Anthony McFarland, just because we need a running back.
James Conner, not the guy. I don't believe in James.
James Conner is not. He's good when he's good. You know what I mean? He's good when he's good. Like he's good when I watch him, look like he doesn't want to get hit. Like, he's soft. He's a softer player, and we don't need no soft running back. We don't need any running back that don't want to get hit, because Le'Veon was out there and he was like, no, I'm going to get this extra yard.
Yeah.
But James Conner will be like, I don't know this extra yard look like I might get, you know what I'm saying? And I can see that when he's running. He doesn't run with the
conviction.
I'm going to get this. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this extra yard. I'm going to do my best. Like that's how he runs. So I was excited about Anthony McFarland Jr. I was excited about Chase Claypool. It wasn't something I thought because it was our first pick.
But I think it's good. I think it's good to go with Juju. I think it's good.
It's very good. Mm-hmm. It's very good because we also have Deontay Johnson, who also has been, playing very well. And I think once you get another threat on the offense, once you get another wide receiver that can kind of take the pressure away from Juju, I think he will have a better year. And also, Chase Claypool is huge. He can play tight end too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now we got Vance McDonald and Chase Claypool. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things we can do with him.
Let's take it to the Baltimore Ravens. Jermaine, you were high on them as far as last division series when I said, give me a team that could challenge the Kansas City Chiefs and AFC. You say the Ravens, year 3 for Lamar Jackson. And obviously, what an astounding year he had last year, becoming the MVP. They go get J.K. Dobbins. They get a plethora of really great receivers to already go on a really great offense. Is this still the Ravens division for the taking, or will they see some competition this year?
I think they're going to see some competition because I can attest to what Chanel said. I'm excited actually to see Big Ben come back because he's been out for some time, and just to see how the Steelers was able to rally the second half of the season, almost making it to the playoffs. They fought pretty hard, so I'm sure that probably motivated Ben, for his return. Also, with Cleveland, I feel like Baker's on the hot seat. They have a whole bunch of weapons. They got weapons all around him at the receiver, tight end. He has 2 running backs. They got a solid defense, but they haven't been able to put up the stats or, make the playoff run that everybody's been expecting with all the superstars on the field. But for Baltimore, like you said, it's really still their division to lose, but they do have some competition. I don't think it's going to be easy. I do like what they did by adding J.K. Dobbins, like you said. They added Devin Duvernay at the wide receiver position. They also got Patrick Queen on the defense to help beef up that defense. So that's also
everybody shook their head to that.
that's a great addition.
That was necessary. That was
necessary handshake.
Right. He come and wreck some havoc. So it's not going to be easy for Baltimore at any cost. I think Steelers have a lot to lose. Mike Tomlin, I won't say he's on the hot seat, but I think he's in a pretty awkward position just because
he's kind of got to get it together this year.
Right. Yeah. But it's not all his fault because his roster, they've been having injuries and stuff like that. But he has to still remind people that we are the Pittsburgh Steelers. We come here to compete. We play hard. We're here to win. And I mean, like I said, again, for the Browns, they're in a peculiar situation because they can potentially lose all their pieces if they can't put it together this season.
Jermaine, what's it going to take for Lamar Jackson to win a playoff game?
For Lamar to win a playoff game?
I mean, I obviously tackle Derrick Henry, but what's it going to take for Lamar to get a playoff game?
I think they got to switch up the offense a little bit more. Truthfully, I honestly see them going a little bit more run heavy this season, even though they were run dominant last season. by them adding J.K. Dobbins, I think it's just gonna add more emphasis on the run game. The passes to the tight ends, but I do think he needs to stretch the field a little bit more. Get some big plays downfield, whether it was with Hollywood Brown or if you can get Duvernay on the fly. They just have to stretch the field and get all those players out of the box, make it a little bit easy on Lamar. That way, if he do want to scramble, you don't have 8 men in the box.
Let's move it to the team that had the number 1 pick in the draft, the Cincinnati Bengals, getting Joe Burrow with the number 1 pick. A lot of moxie with this guy. I love him. Dez, do you love him being the number 1 pick for the Cincinnati Bengals? And what can he do for the Bengals, at least in year 1, even though expectations won't be super high?
So when I look at the Bengals and I look at Joe Burrow, what scares me? Well, let's back it up. What I like about Joe Burrow, we know he can throw the ball. He can sling the ball. We know that straight up. What he did to Alabama in the championship, come on, man. All right, I was eating a wing and drinking a beer for every touchdown that man was throwing. You know what I mean? But
bro, you must have been drunk.
I mean, I'm trying to tell you, man. He was just going nuts. but and I saw more games than just that, and I really liked what I saw with him. But my question is, how much of that was Joe Brady? Yeah. And that's just my question. And now I'm a Panthers fan. We know that. So I'm excited to have Joe Brady. Get him, Teddy Bridgewater, a bunch of weapons. It's going to be exciting. So what I want to know is it was Joe Burrow, because his numbers skyrocketed from his junior to his senior year. Skyrocketed. So what that means is the transfer and the system worked for him, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm a true believer that every player, I don't care if it's Brady all the way down to Boo Boo the Fool, systems work for certain players.
Yep.
And so what I want to know is Joe Burrow really that good at quarterback, or is he just a good system player? And that system that Joe Brady built was built to get receivers open. One of the best we've ever seen do it at getting receivers open. Almost, in my opinion, similar to kind of like a KC. Like, we're just going to get everybody open and just pick and choose who you want to throw it to, especially at the college level. So I think Burrow has the talent. I think Burrow has the arm strength and the accuracy at times, but I still want to see why his numbers skyrocketed so much and how's that going to look against NFL defenses where, again, you're going against the Ravens, you're going against the Steelers, you're going against, who else is in there? I'm going blank. I'm sorry.
The Browns?
The Browns. So, still, it's the NFL defense at the end of the day.
Yeah. Right. I'll throw this question out there, kind of a little roundtable thing on this one. Obviously, the Bengals have been next to last in this division without them in the past couple of years. What's it going to take for the Zach Taylor era, going into his second year in coaching, to actually begin? And what's his timetable as far as getting Cincinnati where it needs to be, which is really back into the playoffs?
I don't think it's all on him. It's not all on him. It's someone's on him. But you got a number 1 receiver that ain't been healthy in 3-4 years. You see they went out and said, okay, cool, we're tired of that. We're going to get T. Higgins and keep A.J. Green, which everyone thought was going to be trade bait. They're trying to get weapons around them. And again, you go and get a young quarterback who hopefully will be the quarterback in the future. So obviously they're not sitting back and saying we're okay with this. We're not going to accept it. So they're going to get the pieces around it to make it better. So I think now within a year or two, we should be able to see really what they're going to do with the offense coordinator, with the coaching staff and everything else there, because, hey, we got you a quarterback of the future. You still got A.J. Green. We got you another receiver. At some point, you got to start winning straight up.
Who else wants to take a shot? Go ahead.
And I think I agree with Dez. I think the toughest part may be, not the toughest part. The most important part is figuring out, what is Joe Burrow going to do? What type of quarterback is he going to be? Who you build around? Is he actually going to be good? Because, if not, then you got to figure out, who you got to get. And then it's going to be tough because the AFC North has always been a competitive division. So it kind of sucks because you're saying the Bengals going to try to get, if they're going to try to be good, they got to go through the Ravens, they got to go through the Steelers, and they got to go through the Browns, the Browns are the most talented team in the AFC North. So if they get everything right, they can be great too. So it's kind of tough on the Bengals because they don't have that talent like the Ravens or the Browns. They don't have that history of a great organization like the Steelers. So it's going to be tough for them to, if we were talking about, another division, it might be easy. If we're talking about maybe the, AFC South or it might AFC East, it might be easier for them. But because this division is so tough, it's kind of gonna suck because they're not gonna jump to number one. You know what I'm saying? Like they might jump to number 3. I don't think they'll jump to number 2. So it's kind of looking at what does success look like in the AFC North for the Bengals? Does that look like we are competing, or does that look like we are, running the division? Because running the division is probably not gonna happen if within the next 3 years, especially with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Go ahead, Jermaine.
I just want to add that I think Cincinnati lacks leadership, just because I can't really think of too many tenured players on their roster. I mean, the most known name on their roster is Geno Atkins. He's been there forever. Other than that, I can't think of anybody on their roster that's, just a big leader, a vocal leader, like somebody like, just for example, like how Lamar rallied the troops, or somebody like a Jamal Adams, or anybody who just fires up the guys. You don't really see that with Cincinnati. They do compete. They do have great players, but I think they're truly missing something within the locker room that'll kind of push the guys to move a little forward, compete a little bit harder. I do like the coach. I think he's a good coach. I mean, they did have the worst record in the league last year, looking at his roster, but I feel like he do have a great opportunity to turn that around, by picking up Joe Burrow and getting the pieces that they have with T. Higgins.
Good. Last question for you guys, and then we'll be out. Let's rank them from first to last. Jermaine, go first in this division.
First to last, I would say first.
Everybody want to say the Ravens. I know y'all gonna say the Ravens.
I want to say the Ravens, but I truthfully think Pittsburgh gonna shock everybody.
I knew it.
I think Pittsburgh gonna shock everybody, and I want to say Baltimore. Baltimore would be number 2, but I don't think Cleveland would be far behind them. And I do think Cincinnati will finish last, but they won't be last in the entire league.
Okay.
They might win about 5 or 6 games.
Chanel, go ahead.
Okay.
Steelers. Yep.
I think no.
If you don't say Baltimore, I'm hanging up right now. I'm gone.
No, because there are a lot of things that, if Ben is healthy, I think that we can win the division. We were 8-8 with a 3rd-string quarterback. You know what I'm saying? If we have Ben and we have someone to help Juju, if everything goes right, I think that we can win the division. But if I'm just looking at the actual picture and being, realistically, I have to say the Ravens, just because of how powerful they are. They went in the draft, and if all their picks in the draft are as powerful as they were in college, and if everyone lives up to the name, the Ravens are the best team in the league. Yeah. So I can't sit here and say the Steelers are going to beat, the Ravens, who had a crazy draft, So I do think that if I'm being realistic, the Ravens will win the division, then the Steelers, and I think the Bengals can come in 3rd, because I don't know if the Browns get it together. They have so much talent, and I don't want to say it's that sophomore slump from Baker. He might just not be it, because he has too much talent around him. He had Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and Jarvis Landry and OBJ. Like, are you serious? There's no such thing as there's no such thing as a slump when you have those guys on your team. No way. Right. So I think that the Browns finish last.
Yes, take it away.
I got to go number 1 Baltimore. We all know that, and I like them adding J.K. Dobbins. Hey, whatever. Unless my man get hurt, unless Lamar get hurt, knock on something. That team nasty, and they added to the defense. They went straight. I still want to see them add a receiver. I still want to see them add a wide receiver in Baltimore. I'm just throwing that out there now.
They did add one, right?
But
they got Duvernay.
They drafted 2.
No, I know, but I need somebody who's been on the field before. I need somebody who's been on the field before. You want to somebody who ain't gonna drop them balls in the playoffs. That's what I need, right? 1. I actually got the Browns and Steelers splitting the division games and splitting the season. So I'm actually putting them out. I know I'm not supposed to do that on but I really got them
disrespectful.
That's what you want to say. All right, but I think
we don't talk about the Panthers
with Freddie, and we're gonna get there. NFC South
NFC South is coming.
All right, but no, I think with Freddie Kitchens out, I really think there is going to be a difference with Baker Mayfield for the positive. I think that he's going to step up. He's got too many weapons to lose like that again. They got way too many. As much as we talk about the Browns have never had weapons like this before.
No,
They never have. And so now you get that joke of a coach out and Freddie, and who we all know was a good OC, but wasn't a good head coach. So, we get somebody else in there who can actually get hopefully can help get Baker back to where he needs to be. He gets out of that sophomore slump, probably takes a step up, see NFL defense a little bit more. I got them up there, and I do think the Steelers are going to be competitive because, again, what Mike Tomlin did with nobody, he has a team back. Assuming, Big Ben stays healthy and stays at the strip club, then we're pretty much good. So
you tried it.
He did.
I had to try it. It's everywhere. But besides, I think Joe Burrow, rookie year, that team still needs a lot of pieces, and especially defensively. And so, fourth place for them. But it's gonna be a funny division to watch, honestly, because there's gonna be a lot of flip flops going on. This could go down to the wire, honestly.
Yeah, I think I'll throw my little 2 cents in. Kind of summarize my thoughts about every team. For one, I'll go for the sake of it. I'll go with the Ravens. Obviously, when you win the draft like that, getting 3 prolific offensive weapons, a lot of things just can't go wrong at this point. And I do believe Harbaugh will still be able to put something together, obviously, to make the Ravens a competitive team once again in this division. So clear cut number 1 with that one. 2, for the sake of having everything to lose, and I don't know a lot about Kevin Stefanski from a book I've never read to say that he's going to be able to lead the Browns, where they need to be. But for the sake of, if it doesn't work this year, if you blow everything up, I think I'll put the Browns at 2 to finally get it done. And maybe so here's like my little small scenario. If the Browns somehow get the number 2 seed, they get the wild card in the playoffs. I'm not sure where that leaves the Steelers and the Bengals. I do have the Steelers at 3. Chanel, don't kill me for this. I think I don't know what we're going to get out of Big Ben this year. And I love Ben. I loved him for quite some time. But the older you get, the harder it is to stay healthy. You'll see a lot of that with Tom Brady and so on in the NFL. But as far as the Steelers go, still a couple of questions for me on the defense side of the ball for them. But if the Browns do somehow fumble the bag, obviously the Steelers will be at 2. And obviously, like you said, there's too many questions for the Bengals still on the defense side of the ball. And Joe Burrow in year 1, though it can happen. I think if they're a very competitive team that can shake up some things in the AFC North, possibly finish at 3, at the best at 2, and maybe be on the outside looking in of a wild card position, maybe be in a Week 16, 17 matchup to see if they can kind of ease in somehow. But given that Zach Taylor is only coming into his second year with a rookie quarterback, I don't see too much on that. But guys, definitely appreciate you guys for sticking around. Obviously, Dez and Chanel for sticking around for our live segment earlier. Jermaine also with you joining in on us. Guys, it is Spot on Sports. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, drop us a like, click the notification bell. Dez, Chanel, can you let everybody know where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, definitely. At Dezewell Media, DEZEWELL Media, and that's Twitter, Instagram. You add me on Facebook, something wrong, so I don't even get up there.
If you're not disrespectful, you can follow me at because this disrespect for the Steelers is just it's
we
beyond
love
me.
the Steelers, Chanel. We love the Steelers. Y'all got some issues going on.
You can't sleep on the Steelers, man.
So Jermaine the only one that everybody else getting
I think they come in with a vengeance.
That's what we think until Big Ben get hurt again. And
it's
then
okay.
Chanel looking at Mason.
I'm on Twitter ranting, talking about Big Ben. You can follow me on Twitter at the Coco Chanel, SHANELL. And you can follow me on Instagram at Chanel Starling. That's SHANELL. Starling, STARLING.
Gotcha. Jermaine, we don't get to do the out cues, bro. They see our face every week, so they know who we are, where to find us.
Find us on Spot on Sports.
There we go, man. Again, click that notification bell, get notified everything we're doing. Check out more discussions, My Point Exactly, as well as our high school coverage that we have going on yearly. Again, this is a new wave of sports that is sweeping the nation, not just accurate, but spot on. This is Spot on Sports. We'll see you guys next time. Boom.
Boom.
Y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stuck around. Y'all stuck in it. I'm definitely
Tony, don't invite me on no show if you're gonna sit here and disrespect the Steelers and say that.
So now look, we listened to you for 2 hours, 2.5 hours at the draft show. Talk about all the Steelers should have got was everybody that got drafted by
but
everybody.
The Steelers, we are good for we get nothing and make it into something. Okay.
We praised y'all to death when y'all had Le'Veon and AB. All right.
And that's okay. Y'all gonna praise us to death because ain't nobody was all on AB when he was in Central Michigan, but we got him and we made him into this beautiful thing. Okay?
No, y'all built some wide receivers. I give you that, but you and James Conner can have a fun time at number 3 in the division.
We're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it together. Everybody's gonna be all butthurt because the Ravens gonna call a play that's stupid and that's gonna hurt their quarterback. And guess what? Lamar Jackson gonna be sitting on the sideline somewhere because his coach want to get all cute, and we're gonna be on top.
That's how far we don't fall in, but we got to.
And what happens when Big Ben get back on that motorcycle? When Big Ben get on that motorcycle, go to the strip club or whatever. Hell, he might go to Walmart and touch somebody on the ass. I don't know.
The Steelers can have Breeze.
And Ben ain't saying nothing about what's going on right now. I said, you know what? We're doing good. Ben is he off the computer. You know what? So we're living our best life right now.
Man, I'm out, man. I'm gonna fuck with y'all later, bro.
All right, Dez. Hey, I'll let you know when we're gonna do the NFC South.
Yeah, hit me up, bro.
I'll be hitting you up for later shows on down the line.
Yeah, let me know.
Got your number and everything. And Jermaine,
Definitely.
I'll be getting in contact with you right after we get off.
All right, for sure.
All right, my boy.